Well, first of all, we're honored to be here and really excited about the 2019 and 20 season. Feel really good about our group and the cohesion that we've built over the last couple years. And we don't have a big roster, but I think every player that we have on it is capable of having big nights for us. And like I said, we're just kind of thrilled to get this thing rolling. So there you go.
So before we move on to questions, Coach, 18-19 season?
I don't know. What season are we in? I don't know. Wait, you know what, you guys, I swear, you know what I've learned from these two guys? It's day to day. Everything is one day at a time. We just try to get better each and every day, and that's something I've learned from both of these two, and I really respect and am grateful to them for that. So, what season? 18-19. All right, go Ducks.
I didn't even know.
19 and 20 will be pretty good because they're both juniors, so that might work out too.
I want to introduce Oregon SID Joe Waltasti, and now we'll open it up. We'll open it up to questions to the media. Please remember to identify yourself on the microphone.
Hey, Coach. Lisa Woodward, Pac-12 Networks. Nice to see you in a suit for the first time in about a year.
Eugenian.
Yes, a Eugenian. That is correct. First time in a suit since.
Yeah, I don't really like it, and I think Chris Dawson should allow me to just wear our polos.
I don't know. I don't think so. How different is the mentality now that you have players, and I'll ask this to Ruthy and Sabrina as well, that you already know how good you are. You've already competed against the best teams and had success and Elite Eight twice. How different is the mentality entering this season with the knowledge that you know how good you are and it's not having to prove yourselves?
Is that to me or is that to the student athletes? Well, I think for me, it hasn't changed really. I mean, we've had high expectations ever since these two got on campus, and they've lived up to that. I think last year our exit from the NCAA tournament got us even hungrier, for success this year, and what I've seen is great focus and intensity and nothing but positive things from these guys since, and the rest of the Ducks since that day we lost in Spokane. So, I think they're hungry, and I can see a real confidence in each and every one of them.
No, I mean, everything he said was right. I mean, I think our demeanor stayed the same, but I think just the experience of having gone through, for us at least these last 2 years of achieving, getting to the Elite Eight. I think this year, we know what it takes to get there, and practices have been great. I mean, I've been telling everyone this. I think our practices this year have been the most competitive and the most dialed in since I've gotten to Oregon, which is inspiring to see. So I'm excited. I think, we have a great group of kids here, and everyone's dialed in and understands their role, and we're just ready to start playing.
Ruthy?
I agree with both of them. I mean, like she said, we're all dialed in. We all are really competitive. We hold ourselves and our team to high expectations, so it's going to be a great year for us.
Over here, Kelly. Welcome back. Tom Fitzgerald, San Francisco Chronicle. Kelly, how disappointing is it to lose 4 transfers, and how will that affect your bench strength?
Well, I've never really worried about the players that we don't have, and just I'm concerned about the ones that we do. Obviously, it hurts. It hurts our depth. We have a thinner roster, but the reality is most of our production is back, and we never like players to leave our program, and they all did for different reasons. But again, we've really tried to focus on looking forward, and and I think. From the coaches that I've talked to, I think everybody, all of those coaches have told me that once you go to it with a smaller roster, actually it's hard to go back because of the benefits.
Coach Kevin Dan at Pac-12.com. I want to ask you about Erin Boley. You get her eligible this year after the red shirt year from transferring from Notre Dame. What are you expecting from her? And then just if I could get your comment on, it seems like there are a lot of high-impact transfers in the Pac-12 this year that could really have a big say in the way things play out.
Well, what I love about Erin is that number one, she's a great competitor, and she's used to playing at a high level. I mean, when she was at Notre Dame, she actually started for them, and was a key player for them. So she comes in with experience. She also comes in now with a year under her belt, having worked out with us and practiced with us last year. So she understands what we want and the kind of game that we play. But she is really competitive and highly skilled. I mean. I love her versatility. We can, put her down low. She's a strong player, so she can play around the basket. Is going to be a matchup advantage for us, on many nights. And then she is a big-time elite shooter, and she's the kind of player that can get on a roll at any time. And we lost a really good shooter in Lexi Bando. And but I don't think we'll miss her because we love Lexi. But Erin gives us that same kind of game. She's also 6'2" and really strong. So and she's a great teammate, an awesome student. She really is the whole package, and we're glad that she's with us.
And then if you could just following up, just kind of on the transfers throughout the Pac-12.
Yeah, obviously a lot of high-profile ones. I think that's great for the conference. I mean, the conference is already going to be really, really strong. But I think with the addition, with especially up the road with Destiny Slocum at Oregon State, I just think that makes us all better. And when the Pac-12 is better, I think that's good for everybody. And I anticipate again it's going to be an awesome season.
Hey guys. And with the Pac-12 networks, ladies, I'll ask you this, and Kel, if you don't mind jumping in as well. When you guys got on campus and got to play with Maite and got to understand the beauty of how she ran the ship and was an extension of Kelly, how much did she help you when you were freshmen, and how much does she continue to just kind of be that rudder for your club?
Well, funny thing is, he didn't let me play with her for a while. He always kept us on separate teams in practice.
Because
I don't really. You might
You
have
had
to
to
ask
even
him.
out
Yeah,
the
I might
teams.
just have to.
That's
Yes,
stacking the team.
So my first year, I hadn't played with her, really on the same team for about a few weeks, and then slowly I started to be able to play with her, and we had an instant connection right from the start, just being able to see the court well. And I think we're both on board with just facilitating and trying to get players in the right spot. But it's been great learning from her. She runs the pick and roll better than anyone in college basketball. So it's been fun to be able to watch her and learn from her. And she just helps our team so much. She's just so composed and always is making the right play and such a team player. So I think everyone's really blessed to be able to be led by such a great point guard.
Ruthy, same with you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, being able to step on the court, Sabrina and Maite both, is just eye-opening for me when I was a freshman. And definitely Maite with her composure and just leading us from post players to the guards. She's a great leader, and you can always look to her for help or where you're supposed to be, and she just makes our whole offense flow.
Coach, you've always said she's the one.
Yeah, I'm not a man about hyperbole, but I truly believe, with Sabrina and Maite, that's the nation's best backcourt. I just don't see, two better players on a team. I think Maite, I always say, is our most important player. Sabrina might be maybe our best player, and Ruthy's our most dominant player, but I think Maite's our most important player. She kind of is fine with kind of going, flying under the radar, so to speak. But Sabrina said it. There's no guard in the country better in the pick and roll than Maite Cazorla, and I was really happy that last year our conference coaches, saw that and understood that, and even with two great players here, voted her all Pac-12 because she deserves it. She's our best defender. She's one of our smartest players, and is going to be a great pro. And one of the things people don't realize, Maite's won 5 gold medals for Spain. She may be the most decorated player in the world right now, certainly in college basketball. So, that's just kind of who she is. She's a winner.
Cheryl Coward, hoopfeed.com. First for Sabrina and then Coach. What was it like having that experience with the USA team, training for the World Cup? And for Coach, what have you seen, any sort of improvement or difference in her games from that experience?
It was an eye-opening experience. I wasn't sure what to expect going in, but I was just eager to learn from everyone that was there, players that had walked in my shoes and had played. in college already, and now we're playing professionally. It was a blessing to be able to learn from them, especially in the guard position, to just be able to learn, how, they see the court, how they play defense differently than we do in college. The intensity was a lot different, and they really helped me get better in a lot of ways. I think I was able to bring that back to Oregon with just my defense and intensity, and I think Ruthy learned a lot as well in the post. She had come with me as well. So it was a blessing to be able to do that, and I hope I'm given the chance to do it again.
Yeah, I think reality is good for anybody. They went back there and had a chance to compete with the best and against the best, and I think it exposes, every player in a certain way, and certainly a couple of collegians. So, but at the same time, I think they both came back with great attitudes. They know they've got to get better, but they also came back with confidence. I've seen two very confident players, and especially in Sabrina. She's never really lacked in that area, but in a good way. But just by being mentioned and being allowed to do that, I think is just a great honor. And I can tell they both came back with a lot of confidence and hunger to get better.
That's okay. I definitely learned a lot. You walk into the gym and you see WNBA players, gold medalists, and it's just great to go in and be able to see how they talk on and off the court and just learn more about your game, watching you get better. Like Sabrina said, they play defense a little different than we do at college, so just seeing how they think all the way on both sides of the court was definitely very helpful.
One of the things Ruthy said when she first got back, I kind of debriefed her, was, I got to get better with my left hand. and that's what happens. You get exposed a little bit, and I think that's great. That's how you develop as a player.
Joan Bomasani, Pac-12 Networks. Congratulations, first of all, on an unbelievable year last year and a great summer. I know we talked briefly outside, Sabrina, and you mentioned it was interesting when 3-on-3, you really had to coach yourselves during the game. You couldn't talk to a coach till after.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How does that help? Being more vocal, or how did that help you as a player, and how does that help your team?
So the rules are you're not allowed to be coached during the game. It's either before or after. And none of us had any 3-on-3 experience. Aaron had played, I think, once before. So we were still learning the rules during the game. But I think it helps us here at Oregon, just because we're not always looking for someone, in the middle of the game. It's more read and react. We have to talk and communicate within ourselves with what we see and how we think this play will be effective, this play won't. And so I think that's helped us, bringing now in practice. We're not always looking for coach on what play to call or what mismatch we see. It's more, trusting and talking within ourselves to figure that out. And he trusts us, and he allows us to do that because I think we've proven that we can.
I have one more question. So, you had a tremendous year, obviously, last year, and very high expectations for this coming season. Why is this? It's early. You haven't played a game yet. But why is this year's team better than previous?
I think experience helps a lot with that. Everyone knows, how close we were to making that jump last year and getting to a Final Four, and I think everyone wants it more than ever. So I think everyone's been practicing like we're going to get there, and it's been so fun to be a part of. Expectations are high within the team this year as well, not just, from the outside, and I think that's helped us continue to get better every day. But we're excited. Our freshman, coming in, Taylor Chavez, she's great. She's one of the best freshmen, I think, in the Pac-12 this year, and she's been practicing like one. And then just having Satu have another year under her belt is going to be great. And then us, having been in the conference a few years now, we're going to lead the team.
Nick Daschel from the Oregonian. Kelly, been at back-to-back Elite Eights. How do you fight off the Final Four or bust mentality that I'm sure is out there from the outside? And maybe, or do you? Or do you welcome it, or do you try to tamp that down a little bit?
Well, we always, I think our players understand how good we are and where we are in the women's basketball landscape. we're certainly capable of doing great things, but the reality is we're not a huge goal-setting team in terms of this is what we want to accomplish. I think they are very great in compartmentalizing, every day as a new challenge and an opportunity to get better. And so that's been our goal from day one as a group. We want to get better each and every day. So I know they're hearing it from other people, but we don't talk about it as a team, and we know that a lot of things have to happen, but we're good enough, and these two, it's great to have them leading the way, and I'm glad that you mentioned Sabali. She is incredible right now. She came back better than ever. She's playing at such a high plane. So you're talking about some elite players who are now hungry and really driven, and that's a good recipe for a coach to work with. So, yeah, what people say externally, we're not that worried about. We know what we're capable of, and we always put high expectations on ourselves, not necessarily an ultimate goal.
So Kelly and ladies, and again, and thanks. So external prognostications, et cetera, still it's interesting, and it's a tip of the cap that your colleagues are picking you guys to win the Pac-12, a good, deep, quality conference. Your colleagues. What does that mean to you, or is that just something else that you deal with in terms of that outside kind of blabber?
Kind of blabber. No, it's just something you have to deal with, and I think it's a great honor, and I think deserved. I mean, this is a really, really good group. We're not going to shy away from that, but at the same time, it doesn't mean anything. When we play the Washington schools opening weekend, we're all going to be 0-0 and competing for the same prize. So, and I think our players are smart enough to know that and realize that. But I really see a focus in this group that I haven't seen in my time there. So I'm really excited to see how we can come together and what we can accomplish. I think it can be really great things.